Suzanne Barron here, founder of Christ the True Light. So I'm continuing to read in Bridging the Gap by GMB Bailey. If you want to download this book for free, you can. You can go to my website. There'll be a description in the link. There'll be a blog post in the description for you to open up and read that blog. And then this book will be in there toward the bottom. There's actually 5 downloads that you can download completely free within that one blog. This book talks about gangstalking targeted individuals. I'm not sure if it actually mentions the B2K in here, but it talks about surveillance societies and stuff like that. I'm in Who Gets Targeted, the portion that says who gets targeted. Targeting can happen to anyone. It's chapter 2, part 3. Who gets targeted? Targeted can happen to anyone in society. In the past, primary targets of programs such as COINTELPRO have been minorities. What does that say? Programs such as COINTELPRO have been minorities. In Russia, it was activists, dissidents, and anyone perceived to be an enemy of the state. So I think she's saying, sometimes she's got some typos in here. She's saying that minorities, it's a minority thing. Like schizophrenic patients are 1% of the entire globe's population, schizophrenic patients. And these complaints will get you diagnosed as schizophrenic. It's 1% of the entire globe's population. But what's striking is that America's percentage for schizophrenic diagnosis is 3.5 to 4%. So we have more schizophrenic people in America than any other country. Targeting, however, can happen to anyone. Individuals can be targeted for being too outspoken, whistleblowers, descendants, people who go up against wealthy corporations, women's group, single women, anti-war proponents, individuals identified or targeted as programs at these community meetings, and other innocent individuals. Okay, community meetings, I mentioned that. We talked about that one on part 2, where she mentioned the towns will group together, like kind of like you think of homeowners associations, kind of, but like the entire town will group together and they will discuss things like how we're going to make the town better, this, that, and the other. But they'll also, like your community board, your city council, they're grouping together and like picking names on a list and saying that this person has gone outside and they're going to start tracking you. And that's what you start to believe. Like she's making it well known that this stuff is actually happening. People believe this book. People believe these things. We're taking our governments to court for this stuff. The majority of the targets at first are not aware that they have become the target of a covert investigation. So your suffering progresses very slowly. What a target will initially notice is often overt forms of harassment that will cause them to move or change jobs. However, every time a target moves or changes jobs, the same information, lies, and slander will be spread out into the new community, and the systematic monitoring and harassment will continue. So you can't stay anywhere. If you've been watching the videos, you will see that this is like torture. Imagine living in these shoes. The women who are singled out tend to be independent, intelligent, and confident professionals. So that would have been me. My life was destroyed because of this. Now, don't think that I believe that this is happening. It's not happening, but it's a spiritual attack. Okay. There's something to do with the women too, because women have been treated badly since the beginning of time. Now, scripture says in the beginning, when God created man and woman, when he created the man and the woman, it says, let us make man. I'm messing up. I'm sorry. When he created the human beings, it says, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Now, those 2 words, not male and female, Those two words is image and likeness. Now, the image, when you take that image and you look through a Strong's Concordance and you root it back to Hebrew text, that word image is like a masculine noun. Okay, so it's like male. Okay, characteristics. Okay, it's subliminal, it's symbolism. It's a characteristic. So he made like a masculine figure, masculine image. All right, an image, and it was equated to heathen gods, steamers of mice. Um, it was just bad. Now the woman, a harlotry, like harlotry, you think of like harlotry, that's like prostitution and like whoring around and stuff like that. So that was the masculine noun. Now likeness was a feminine character. It was feminine noun. Strong's Concordance is yourself. Feminine, it was like the appearance, like outward appearance of like a chiefly character. So like you are to show respect to this chiefly character. It was like equated to like father and son, like God, woman, the female. So image is male, likeness is like female. Okay, nurturing characters, this, that, and the other. From day one, women have been treated badly. It goes further into chapter 2, when you're looking at it again, it goes further to talking about like the man being equated to like the beasts of the field and stuff like that. The woman was opposed. Satan is opposed to everything that is of God. And you think about like how the animals in the wild, like the male animal usually, because there are some animal animals in the animal kingdom where the woman takes over, like bees, for instance, right? The queen bee, and bees have a very important um, act in our world. Bees do with the queen, right? But women have been like treated badly and submissiveness. And so to have this independent, intelligent, and confident professional, Satan, because it's spiritual, it's just not actually happening, it's spiritual. Satan will go against that independent woman to try to bring her down back to submissiveness. Back to submissiveness, because he doesn't want her to be what God created her to be, which is a godly character, image, likeness. The female likeness, characteristics of like God. Mother Nature. Mother Nature. Mother Nature sent the flood. Mother Nature. You think about that movie Avatar. I talk about the subliminalness in Avatar. Pandora, the moon Pandora, where the Na'vi lived. Their spirit, which is our Christ, was AWOL, a female. Characteristics, okay? God is neither male or female. Male nor female, but the characteristics. There's a heavy predominance in these types of women in the TI community. So independent women are to be broke down. That was me. I had my own cleaning business. I had my own land. I'm still very independent. I'm single. I had a boyfriend at the time. Okay, I was living in sin in that relationship, all right? And that's why Satan came to me and told me to put a bullet in his head with the voices I heard. There was the sin in my life right there. I was sleeping with a man that was not my husband. Okay, I'm single now, but I mean, I've turned my life over. Okay, I've turned my life over, but I'm still an independent person. I've always been an independent woman. I've always been that way. And so that's in that way, that's one reason why I was attacked. Um, but I admit to the sin I had in my life. Now, I wasn't doing anything illegal. You'll hear me say that, but you don't have to do anything illegal to still be living in sin. I was sleeping with a man that was not my husband. I'm still married, but we are separated. We live in two different states. We are friends. But again, I've turned my life over. My husband is not somebody I need to be with. I will stay devoted to God now. And that's okay. That's okay. When you watch, I think sometimes maybe a Christian might hear me say that. Spirit came to the foot of my boyfriend's bed. He was asleep. A Christian might automatically say there's sin. I admit it. I recognize it. I know it. So let me clear it up. I know that. Okay? Now, this was where I'm at now. It says, there's a heavy providence, checking my computer, but for these types of women in the TI community, affirmed McKinney, men are a smaller portion. So women are more targeted, and tend to be nonconformist. So you don't conform. A woman would easily conform, right? I mean, she might hold some kind of independentness, but most of the time women aren't as strong as men are when it comes to this kind of stuff because, I mean, they break easily. They're more vulnerable. Women are. Not me. Definitely not me. Not trying to be boastful, but I'm a fighter. I don't fight fist fights. I've never been somebody to lay hands on any person ever, but I'm a fighter. I fight for my life. Um, I've struggled a lot. I don't know how many times. Listen, I don't know how to explain this, okay? I am not somebody who's ashamed to ask for help. I will ask for help. I'm on this computer begging for help. All right, just spread this message. I'm that type of person. When I have relapsed in my life quite a few times. I have had 2 years of sobriety, a relapse, 3 years of sobriety, a relapse, 5 years of sobriety, a relapse, and I am on my 4th year of sobriety. I will not relapse again, okay? I will not. But do you see those gaps of sobriety? Do you see them? And when I fell, every time I fell, I didn't stay falling. I searched for help and I got myself back up every time. Those are big gaps of sobriety. Big gaps of sobriety. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and now I'm on my 4th year. And I'm only 37. So I've never been a full-fledged addict. I'm only 37. What is that? That's 5, 10 years of sobriety. So 14 years of sobriety, and I'm only 37 years old. So that's what I mean. I'm a fighter. All right? I won't stay down. I fight life, though, okay? I got soldier tattooed on my back. They tend to be nonconformist. They usually have a sense of self-esteem and pride that seems to invite targeting. So it's invited on you. I don't understand what she means by that. I've only read this once. Tend to be nonconformist. They usually have a sense of self-esteem and pride that seems to invite the targeting. So you won't, that's why you stay in a position, that makes sense. So that's why you stay in a position of suffering, because you will not conform to what this targeting is trying to do to you. Because you're a man, you won't conform. So a woman will easily break and conform. All right. But I am free. I'm free. I didn't conform to anything. Okay, I'm free of my suffering. I once believed these things, but that is because I found my answers here. This is a spiritual attack. The government, these people are not grouping around and stalking you and harassing you. You do have to release yourself from the sin of your life. I mean, if you're a criminal and you're experiencing this, those symptoms will not go away until you stop doing crime. They will not. Romans 13 says you have no reason to fear the authorities. Like, you are in a spiritual war. There are some people experiencing it, though, that are not doing crime. Okay, they're not doing crime, but it gets complex. Like, this is widespread now. Okay, like back in the day, it probably would have just been criminals and drug addicts and inmates and stuff, and people that are diagnosed. You look at mental health, and it's always like equated with mostly equated with drug abuse and stuff like that. But there are still millions of people that have never touched drugs and they still experience it. But it's more prevalently found in the drug addict scheme, okay, the scene. And so that's probably why the suffering was going on like this for a long time. But we have to understand that we are progressing, okay, because American diplomats experience this stuff too. And they're not living lives full of worldly sin. I mean, there's sin people don't see, and I'm not going to touch on that right here. Okay, that falls into technology and stuff like that. So maybe there's some of that, and I don't want to confuse you, but there are people out here that are experiencing that are decent people. They would be looked at by society as decent people, whether they're Christians or not. They're decent people. Okay? And I honestly have not found any records of Christians experiencing what I'm reading here. I've not found that. That should wake you up. I've not found any record of any Christian experiencing this. That should wake you up. Because I have been released from my suffering, and I'm not spreading a message like this. I'm reading it to you for a purpose, okay? I'm trying to discredit it. I've got to draw the attention to my website. I understand that these sufferings, these experiences, what you're feeling, if you're somebody who feels you're targeted, I believe that your symptoms and everything you're experiencing is real. I know the suffering that it does to you. I have walked in your shoes. I have been there. But my answers were found here, and I'm free. This person is free too, because Satan let her go to tell you this lie so that you will believe it. I read yesterday where it says, do not call conspiracy what these people calls conspiracy. Do not fear it. Do not believe in the conspiracy stuff. Remember, the MFS was a criminal federal police force that deliberately singled out people exactly like this on a massive scale. Okay? See, this is where research comes in. You can't just assume that what she's saying right there is true. I have no knowledge of what MFS is. I have not investigated that. But I'm telling you, this is what I know. I experienced every single one of these symptoms that she talks about in here, and I have found freedom. So I'm not going to investigate and try to believe these lies because I am free. Scripture, voices, people hear voices. These voices are saying, I'm the government. She's picked up her phone and they know everything you're doing. These voices, these schizophrenic voices, okay? They are demons. They are real life demons, and they spoke to these people in this Bible too. And when I figured that portion out, no longer suffering. I don't believe the government's tracking me. You'll never escape the government. If that's really happening, you'll never escape it. You can't escape these symptoms. Like what she's talking about, you'll never escape this. You're pushed to suicide if you don't conform, right? Scripture talks about conforming too. Conforming too. You're conforming for God. You're removing the sin, and you don't have those speech skills. You are plucking out that demon, cutting off that demon, that member of sin, that sin that's in you, that evilness that's in you. You're removing it, you're getting rid of it, and you are changing, and you are turning your life to God. And that's conforming. But you're doing it for the right reasons. Listen, I go to church. I go to church every Sunday, okay? I go to church every single Sunday, every Sunday morning. I don't go 3 times a week. All right. I right now, the churches I'm going to, they don't do the Bible study stuff. Okay. I would like to find one. I've been there. But like I said, I go to different churches because no Christian believes me. I've not found a Christian yet to believe me. But I still go. I still go. This coming Sunday will be my 2nd week in a new church. Others that have been targeted include those who have had a bad breakup with an ex-spouse who has influence. So probably battered women. Criminals. This program may have been begun targeting only criminals. Didn't I just say that? Those who have reported a crime where the perpetrator was a member of an organized crime ring. Landowners targeted by government or industry for land seizures. I kind of felt like that during mine, that my neighbors were trying to harass me to scare me off my land because they wanted my property. I believed all sorts of stuff. I believed that they were raping women and children. I could hear the women and children scream my name. That's why I believed that. That is the reason why I believed that they were doing that to women, because I could hear women and children scream my name, rape to save them. I dug 10-foot holes all over my property. I was not high. I was not high. My sobriety happened, and I've said this and I've admitted this. My sobriety began in 2020. Okay? I purchased and moved onto my land in 2021. Okay, so there is that, like, so close that somebody in the psychologist field would say, oh, well, that's just a long-term effect. It didn't start in 2020. It started in 2021. But I've had many gaps of sobriety, and I've never experienced that during those other gaps of sobriety. And I'm still sober, and I'm fine now. And I still hear a voice. I still hear a voice. Just as I heard voices back then in 2021, I still hear a voice. It's not V2K. It's not the government. It is God, because God speaks to you with an audible voice. He can. Right here. Schizophrenic patients believe that too. Those who are diagnosed and prescribed pharmaceuticals, on the same blog article that you can download this book for free, there is another thesis on there where it says if you believe, or if you pray, if you speak to God, you're schizophrenic. If God speaks to you, it's called praying. It's a thesis on there. There's another one, The Role of Psychotic Disorders in Religious History Considered. They're saying Jesus was schizophrenic. I just purchased a book. Jesus was schizophrenic. It's like 100 pages. I purchased it because I want to read it. I say it was schizophrenic because schizophrenia is a spiritual gift of prophecy. 68% of people believe that they are prophets. Those diagnosed schizophrenic patients, 68% of them, you can read those theses. I didn't write them. That's science. Those patients believe that they are prophets. I'm saying that it is because they are prophets. And our world no longer believes prophets exist anymore. And we prescribe them the pharmaceuticals, which is the pharmakia. And she talks about how the drug medicines are like to try to hurt you. It's Satan, no. It's not people. It's not people. I am fine. I'm not afraid of government. I could walk outside and I talk about with the white trucks. I see white trucks all over the place. They no longer scare me. I don't hear voices saying she picked her Bible up. She picked her phone up. She went to the bathroom. I don't hear voices saying she's getting into the shower when you're completely naked. I've had that. Completely naked in my bathroom. And I would hear them say, she's getting in the shower. That doesn't happen to me anymore. But I still hear a voice. So what I'm saying is, if you believe in the targeted individuals, the voice to skull technology, if you believe that stuff, it's happening to you and you can hear voices. If you're going through any of this, it is a spiritual attack on your life and Satan's trying to break you down, steal, kill, and destroy. That is his attempt. If you are living sin, God's probably in there somewhere trying to pull you out of that darkness, and Satan is right there messing you up, is probably what it is, because that's what it was for me. I heard my name. I will call my sheep by their name. And Satan was right there and he messed it all up. So I wouldn't be pulled out. I would believe this stuff. But see, he stayed with me the entire time. Listen, he stayed there the whole time. He knew that I would figure it out. He knew I would. Okay? Because there were just some things I was like, I don't believe that. He knew I would figure it out. But I did almost fall for this lie. So what I'm saying is, if you're experiencing these things, you are under a spiritual attack, and you have got to turn your life and find God in this situation. It is the only way you're going to get free. It's the only way you will truly be free. You can be free like her, But you'll tell this lie, and so then you're not really free. You'll be a worker of Satan, spreading this lie, so you won't really be free. Think about your eternity. If you hear voices, you are a seer and a hearer, seeing visions, the government's implanting thoughts in your head, those kind of beliefs, hearing thoughts, they're doing that. If that's happening to you, you are a prophet. And if you are spreading this lie right here, you are a false prophet. And your God is the false God, not Christ. You need to pick up your Bible. Landowners targeted by government or industry or landowners for land seizures, gays, minorities, investors awaiting a large payoff, mentally disabled, schizophrenic, those who have had arguments with neighbors or have connections. So me, neighbors, right? Those awaiting in large insurance claims. So they're after your money. Convenient targets of opportunity. Those with special talents or abilities. Group members who act in unacceptable ways. Independent freethinkers, that would be me, who are not part of the herd. Those who are perceived as vulnerable or weak. I'm perceived that way. Small, petite woman, but I'm not. Perceived as vulnerable or weak. Those opposing the New World Order. Those opposing the New World Order. Okay? That's interesting. Illuminati, New World Order. Who is Illuminati? Christ is Illuminati. Okay? Illuminati is not evil. The word Illuminati means to be illuminated by a light. You'll have to do further research in that. I'm claiming that Christ is the one who is speaking to us through subliminal messagings as warnings. I claim that God sent COVID-19 as our warning. He sent plagues in scripture. He sent plagues today. That pharmaceutical that's supposed to help the mentally sick is also used to create vaccines for the plagues that he sends. Instead of listening to the plagues, we counteract the plagues with the pharmakia. Revelation 18:23 through 29 says that word pharmakia is like witchcraft and sorcery. It's idolatry. It's a lot of different things. But the mark of the beast is pharmaceuticals. It forced all men to take it with their right hand or on their forehead. Now, right hand means it's in my right hand. That's by choice. That's right. That's the right choice. By choice. In my right hand, by choice. Okay? Don't get literal and say, well, what if you're left-handed? Majority of people are right-handed. Okay? That's what it's about. By choice. Who has not taken a Tylenol for a headache? You chose to take that Tylenol. You chose to take that vaccine. On your forehead, where the conscious door is, psychotropic drugs. The mark of the beast, all men are forced to take it. Who has not taken any sort of pharmaceutical? Who on this planet has not taken a pharmaceutical? That's the mark. It says, the voice of the bridegroom will never be heard, of the light of the lamp. I'm sorry, it starts there. Will never shine in you again. That light is the Illuminati. It's the illuminating light that lives in you. He lives in all breathing life. And that is how these spirits are moving. Like Satan is moving to destroy your life. God is moving in similar ways to give us warnings, predictions to the future with the New World Order card game and all the predictions that are coming true. That's Christ. New World Order card game. Okay? The $20 bill with the Twin Towers. The book Futility of the Titan, it's Bart Simpson's Avatar movie. I mean, movies all over the place. Okay? Infinite with Mark Wahlberg, schizophrenic person. He also played in Max Payne with the drugs and the demons, the blue amphetamine type drugs with the demons. How many people did not recognize that, those who are experiencing it? It's because you believe in this. You believe in this, so when you watch that movie, you didn't see the demonicness and what you were experiencing. You believed in this. Watch it again with the understanding that it's a demonic experience and you will see it. The pattern that is unfolding indicates that many targets are people who tend to be emotionally developed, self-confident, independent, free thinkers, artistic, people who don't need the approval of others. They want to break you down. They do not like that. Nope, they don't like that. And they are not prone to corruption. You are an independent person. You are a free thinker. You are independent. Those are great qualities to have. You don't fit in with the crowd. Probably an elect chosen one. Felt different your whole life. Okay. They don't like this government. They want to break you down. This artistic people who don't need approval of others. Nancy Andreasen, she is our mental health go-to lady. Okay, she's been a neuroscientist for 50 years. She's the one who set the positive and negative scales for diagnosed schizophrenic. She did the first schizophrenia MRI. All right. She has said that psychotic disorders and symptoms, mental health issues, are most prevalently found in smarter people. Satan wants to break you down here because this is where the door is. Now you think about your mind, consciousness, artificial intelligence with a brain, a technological brain that works very, very, very much like a human brain. That is the beast. That's Revelation 13. The image could speak. AI speaks to us. This lie is to break the government down so that AI can take its place. That is what Satan is trying to do. They're people who don't need to be a part of a group or feel secure, to feel secure. So you're not codependent. Generally, people who are not part of the herd. And this research into the bullying phenomenon, Tim Field discovered that those targeted have similar traits. They were leaders. They had sense of integrity, refused to join the established cliche. Being good at work, being good at your job, often excelling as business owner. Being popular with people, colleagues, customers, clients, pupils, parents, etc. I can get along with anyone. Doesn't mean I friend them, but I got that customer service skills. I can get along with anyone. But there's still a level to which I can't because people don't fully understand me. I have learned, though, in my life to just accept that as part of life and just understand that they don't understand and not blame them. Like they're trying to harm me, not blame them for that. Just accept that I'm different. There are no like-minded people with me. That's a problem. It hurts sometimes, though. But I don't blame anyone. I really don't. There's a level to my message that might sound contradicting, but it's not. It's not meant to be contradicting. It's meant to just say that I need the Christians to understand this so that I can get the help, but I'm okay with being unique. I'm not a great speaker, so it's difficult for me to explain these things. Being the expert and the person to whom others come for advice, either personal or professional, i.e., you get more attention than the bully. Yeah, there's sometimes I think I get more attention than I want. I'm just stating an obvious in my life. Have you ever felt like that? Okay. Having a strong sense of integrity. Bullies despise integrity, for they have none and seem compelled to destroy anyone who has integrity. So this almost sounds like narcissistic behavior. So where she talks about like you cannot tell a person by their job or their attire or how they're dressed or what car they wear. You can tell a targeter by their evil belief system. All right. Refusing to join an established cliche, showing independence of thought or deed. Refusing to become a corporate clone or drone. These are the types of people in society being targeted for bullying, mobbing, and gangstalking. Then can it be assumed that we might not be doing society a favor by eliminating these vital types of individuals? As this type of person is eliminated via systematic harassment, we can also assume that maybe less qualified individuals are left to fill key and vital roles in society. All right, I'm hit the 30-minute mark, so I'll read chapter 2, Who Takes Part, tomorrow. Please share this video.